I thought Gruden, was coming back to the sidelines. That didn't surprise me. But the fact is he lives here in Tampa, and his kid's going to be a senior next year. I just thought it made more sense, and I think he likes Winston. But you know what? Oakland went to get their man, and they got him.
Do you think that the Glazers would have given him $100 million?
No, I think they balked at it because, guys, I think they realized even if they matched what Davis was going to do, then Davis was going to up the ante again.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bidding war. The 10 years, the $100 million, who knows going to be a piece of the team down the line, and total power. Don't forget about the total power. That didn't work here in Tampa when Bruce Allen came in 2004. It didn't work. And, Gruden's last 6 years, he had a losing record here in Tampa. After he ran McKay off to Atlanta. And, Reggie McKenzie, they can talk all they want about sharing power and working well together, but everybody knows who's calling the shots now in Oakland, and it's not Reggie McKenzie.
What were your impressions of Bruce Allen during his tenure there?
Be honest. Be honest.
From a media perspective, it was a disaster, and I'll tell you why. Because Gruden was an open book. Especially in 2002, of course, there was a championship season. Any coach is going to be more open. But, I remember, calling Gruden at 5:30 at night on a Thursday and telling him I'm coming up to his office in 5 minutes. And I'd show up, I'd knock on the door, and boom, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2002 and 2003. Now comes Bruce Allen in 2004, handpicked by Gruden, plucked off Oakland. And he fed Gruden's paranoia about the press because Bruce is very tight-lipped. He looks at the press as an enemy, and that kind of rubbed off on Gruden. So those last 5 years, I had very limited access to a guy who I could pop in at any time and enjoyed a very close relationship. So from my perspective, it was never the same once Bruce Allen came to.
He's still a disaster, but I think he's competent. Like, how do you rate Bruce Allen's competency?
Well, I think that's a fair point. Now, he did win Executive of the Year when he was with the Raiders. He did, and he assembled a team that went to the Super Bowl in the 2002 season. He did. Now, after that, the Raiders fell off the map. There's no question about it. His competence in Tampa is very questionable. He and Gruden, they struck out often in free agency. And I don't want to hear all this nonsense about, they lost their first-round picks a couple of years, to pry Gruden out of Oakland. Well, after that, they had their first-round picks, and except for Aqib Talib, who turned out to be a knucklehead but a good player, they did nothing. They were getting old players like Charlie Garner, Todd Stussy, Derek Deese. It wasn't working. And as a result, the Bucs just kept fading a little bit into obscurity. So I'm kind of with you on Allen, and now I look to see what he's done in D.C., and there's not much on the resume, guys. Not much.
Losing. A lot of losing.
Hey, Ira, I heard you talking about this yesterday, and I don't really notice it because I go to bed early. I get up, do a morning show every day, so I don't watch the Monday night game start to finish. But did Gruden and Sean McDonough have a little rift? Was it like an uncomfortable relationship with them this year?
I think that's fair. I think uncomfortable is a fair word. Not all of it is McDonough's fault because he was stepping in for Tirico, who I know for a fact had an airtight relationship with Gruden. I'll give you an example. Last year, Gruden was inducted into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. They had a banquet. I went there that night, and Tirico had already left for NBC at that point. And all of a sudden, Tirico walks into the room. I believe he lives in Michigan, Tirico. He came in on his own dime from Michigan just to honor his guy. And it meant the world to Gruden. I mean, I could see it. Mm-hmm. And that's how close those guys were. They were very good together with chemistry. And so here comes McDonough, big shoes to fill. And they never developed that kind of rapport in their time together.
Do you think if Tirico was still calling the games for ESPN, that Gruden would have still taken the Raider job?
I can't go that far. Gruden said he's had the Raiders on. Yeah. I mean, the key was that Mark Davis was not going to be denied.
Right,
he was not going to be denied. And I think Gruden realized it's now or never. Another year passes by. He's out of it for 10 years. He's not going to get the offers that he was getting. And this was the time for Gruden. And you're right. With the $100 million, that was it.
All right, so let's talk about these games here. We're talking to Ira Kaufman. He's just fantastic from down there in Tampa. Falcons-Eagles, the first game. This is the 4:35 game on Saturday, NBC. Man, this is the first time ever, by the way, Ira. I don't know if you follow the Vegas lines, but this is the first time ever a 6 seed is a favorite at the 1 seed. I don't know how the fans feel, but Vegas doesn't really buy into Foles. How do you feel about this game?
Guys, this tells you all you need to know about Carson Wentz and the season he was having. He was probably going to win the MVP award. I think I would have voted for him. I ended up voting for Gurley. I think Brady's going to win it, but I voted for Gurley. But Wentz was the front runner at that time.